My question is to the Minister for Veterans Affairs. What has the Albanese Labor government done to help fix the veterans' crisis that it inherited?
Call to the Minister for Veterans Affairs and the Minister for Defence Personnel.
Thank you, Speaker. I thank the member for Sullivan for his very important question, for his service to our Australian Defence Force and his work supporting the 5,500 veterans in his community. When we came to government, DVA was under-resourced, it was underfunded, it was facing a crisis. There was a backlog of some 42,000 claims with the department that had not even been looked at. As the former government's Veteran Affairs Minister, the member for Calare, said on radio this morning, at this time the government was only prioritising funding that had a political advantage, and so because they didn't feel there was a political advantage in funding veterans' issues. This was such a dire situation, the previous minister threatened to resign over it. The vast majority of claims that are brought are under the MERCA. The first step is establishing initial liability. Back in 22-23, it took on average 332 days just to allocate a claim for someone to look at. It took a further average of 113 days for that claim to be determined, which meant in 22-23 the average time to process was 441 days.
New England.
Addressing this crisis is why the government has made the investments that we have. DVA is now better funded than it's been in 3 decades. We funded 500 additional APS in the October 22 budget to get about clearing that backlog. We've added 141 staff of funding, permanent staff, in the budget this year. The use of labour hire to process claims has fallen from 1/3 to just 10 people. As of right now, that same type of claim I mentioned takes 14 days, no more, for that claim to be looked at, and on average, since 1 December, 6 days. The average time taken to determine a claim since 1 December 2023 is now 44 days. That means that it is an average of 60 days now to process a MERCA initial liability claim. Of course, there are claims that are more complex, others that need further medical information that might be sought, and that does take some time for those claims. It's appreciated that due to the backlog we inherited, some people have been waiting still far too long, indeed years, for their claims to be processed, and that's why we've put in the work to get these claims processed as quickly as possible. It's the processing of this backlog of claims that we inherited that means we are spending an additional $6.5 billion over 5 years to give veterans the benefits that they deserve. It's why it's so concerning that some say that the government should be cutting back on the staff that it has, which would result in veterans getting less benefits. This is not about politics. It's about doing the right thing.
Order.